Welcome back to the morning, noon and night show. I'm sitting here with my first guest of the morning, Edward Massey. How are you doing, Edward?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Just fabulous. Now,
Great.
Edward's on the show because he is an author of a fairly new book called Telluride Promise. I was reading it in the gondola on the way down. I'm up to chapter 4. It's actually a really good, easy read. But I got a couple of questions for you about it. Telluride Promise, based on a true story. Which true story, for the audience who hasn't had a chance to get up to chapter 4 yet, which true story is it based on?
It's based on the story of the banker who was here in Telluride in 1929, who arranged for a loan and used the proceeds of the loan to pay off his depositors. It was a arrangement that was frowned upon by the authorities, so he was put in jail. So that's the story it's based on.
Because it starts obviously in like August of 1929 here in Telluride, and that's just weeks before the Great Depression hits, right?
Well, yes. I mean, what's exciting about it is that it starts the Tuesday before Labor Day. So this year, Tuesday before Labor Day is 80 years from the first page of the book.
Okay.
And he was, in fact, convicted on the 10th of October. 2 weeks later, October 24th, was Black Thursday.
Wow.
So to the extent that he foresaw the Depression, which my character did, he picked it right, predicted it right.
So what gave you the inspiration? Because this is your first book. It came out in June of 2009.
Right.
So it's a pretty recent book. What inspired you to write this particular story?
The promise. I mean, that's what the book is about. The fact is, if a man takes your money and promises to give it back to you, and he goes to any length to do that, that's a really profound and important subject. And that's what he did. He went to any lengths, went to jail for it. The real person is potentially controversial, but the next thing that happened, though, is that what he did ended up becoming the policy of the land, because the concept of the FDIC was a notion of supplying money to banks so that they could pay the depositors and not have them lose their money. So that was what inspired me.
It's perfect timing because, you know, with the economy the way it is now and the banks behaving like they've been behaving in 2009, 2008, in the 21st century. It's a very relevant read. It almost compares, banking right before the Great Depression to life right now.
That's true. It's completely by chance. I started writing this in 2001, and it just so happened that our world started collapsing last year. But indeed, a newspaper, the Providence Journal, after it was published, asked me to write a piece to sort of do a comparison of bankers' promises in 29 versus today. And you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a lot going on today that people need to be able to trust someone, to be able to rely on someone who lives up to their promise.
Nice. Well, I googled this book and it comes up obviously on Amazon. You can buy it and you can also buy it locally. But you had 4 reviews on Amazon and they all gave you 5 out of 5 stars. So anyone who's read it has been very impressed with it. It is a good read. You haven't been an author though in your life so far. What have you been doing professionally for work?
For the last 10 years I've been working in the high net worth world. I ran a family office in Greenwich, and I have been focused on wealth transfer for the last 2 or 3 years.
So you understand the world of banks and money and laws and things like that, obviously. Does this mean we're going to see more books from you now that this one's out? It's a fairly big success. Are we going to see more books?
Well, I hope so. I'm working on one. I get up every morning at 5 o'clock and write, and so I'm working on another one right now.
Very cool. Well, you are going to be back in Telluride in September. You've got a couple of events going on. Tell us about those quickly.
Well, as I said, Tuesday before Labor Day is 80 years from the first day of first page of my book. So I'm going to be back, and we're having a little event at Sundance Mercantile, which is the old bank building.
Oh, okay.
Then Tuesday night, a book signing at Between the Covers.
This is September 1st.
September 1st. And Wednesday night, September 2nd, a Meet the Author program over at the library.
Down at the library where you'll sign books, I'm sure, and
Exactly.
You can come and chat to Edward about Telluride Promise. Definitely recommend picking it up. Is it in bookstores
It
here
is.
in Telluride
It's
right
in
now?
between the covers right now.
Fabulous. Go get yourself a copy. Have
Run
a read.
over and buy it right now and make Diva happy.
And then you can chat with him when he's back in town, September 1st
Great.
and 2nd. Edward, thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thank you very much. It's great.
More to come here on the Morning, Noon and Night Show. We're about to wrap it up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.